Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bankbazaar Digital Finance Conclave, brought to you by CNBC TV 18. Well, with the world rapidly evolving towards digitization, digital money is taking over all other modes of payment. Policymakers, startups, and financial sector wizards are setting the stage for digital finance, getting closer to realizing the vision of paperless financial services. To begin this evening, I would like to call upon Mr. Adil Shetty, co-founder and CEO at Bankbazaar.com, to share his thoughts with us.
Welcome everyone to the Bankbazaar Paperless Finance Summit. The first question we ask ourselves is, why is paperless important? Financial institutions are telling us that paperless is important because today, the Evidence Act, the Information Technology Act, allow us to e-sign documents or contracts rather than collect wet signatures. We are allowed to do e-KYC instead of collecting physical documents. The government has brought out Digital India. The regulators are saying that with changes in the master circular on KYC, that they want to see paperless happen. So we are asking ourselves, what is the impediment? We have, very senior executives from the financial institutions, and we realize that today we are collecting wet signatures in most cases. We are collecting physical KYC documents in some cases. Now the question is, we have true innovation in this room. Financial institutions in India are at the cutting edge of digital innovation. In this room today, we have financial institutions which deliver a debit card, a savings account, a fixed deposit, a health insurance, completely paperless. Now the question is, what is the next step? The next step is as follows. We know we have 50 million e-commerce shoppers in India. We know this number is headed to 200 million by 2020. We know that when consumers apply via paperless, they are 3 times more likely to convert, and they end up converting in 1/3 the time of a normal customer. Today we have secure platforms that, with the highest degree of ISMS standards, with customer consent, are able to move all this information digitally. I welcome all of you. I value your time. Let's join in this paperless journey, which we believe is the next step to democratize finance in India. Thank you.
Thank you, Adil. I would now like to invite Lata Venkatesh, Executive Editor at CNBC TV 18, onto the stage. May I also invite Nandan Nilekani, former Chairman UDI, and Amit Agarwal, Vice President and Country Manager of Amazon India, to please take your seats on the dais.
Welcome to everybody to this CNBC TV 18 and Bankbazaar event on digital finance and its way forward especially in making it paperless, making financial transactions of all kinds paperless. We have with us Nandan Nilekani. He is the founding father of UIDAI itself, Aadhaar itself in India, as well as to some extent the mentor for financial digitization in India. In a minute, we will also invite Amit Agarwal to speak. He is the person who represents operationalizing of digitization of finance for e-commerce purposes. We thought they represent, 1, the vision, and 2, the operationalization of digitization of finance. So without much ado, first the vision. Nandan, if you can tell us how you see the vision forward. Yes, as you please.
Thank you, Lata, and it's really wonderful to be here at this event on digital finance, and thanks to Bankbazaar for organizing this. I think this is a wonderful idea to have this paperless finance conference. I think we often tend to underestimate the role of paperless finance in inclusion, because what we are really doing is we are making distribution simple through the phone, and we are making transactions instant on the phone, which means that a lot more people will have instant access to finance than ever before. So also the whole paperless approach is also a massive inclusion drive that is going on. And in some sense, you can think that for the first time, markets and social inclusion are coming together. Because markets tend to concentrate on only profitable customers, and social programs try to reach people who are to be included. But if the cost of delivering products and the cost of discovery of products becomes zero, then everybody, 1 billion people can access financial products. So in some sense, market force and social goals are coming together with all this paperless stuff. So it's not just some technology stuff, it's really about how to bring market goals and social goals together. And that's what I think we're achieving. So I think this is wonderful, and I'm confident that you're just seeing the beginning of a fantastic revolution in Indian finance. Thank you very much.
Amit Agarwal, your turn to tell us how you've operationalized digitization in e-commerce.
So thank you for inviting me. Very different audience and occasion for me, but I'm happy to share some of the learnings from e-commerce. We just did our first, Diwali festive sale in October, and I was looking at the metrics with my team. So one of the metrics they shared was in 120 hours of that sale, the 5 days, Amazon.in received at least one order from 90% of India's serviceable PIN codes. And I thought that kind of inclusion was just mind-boggling. Like, I'd never even imagined. It's been 36 months that you could get orders from 90% of India's serviceable PIN codes. It's not even visits. These are people placing orders. So I asked my question, what drove this? At Amazon, at least we ask ourselves, the answer to this question should be start with the customer experience. So remove friction, make things easy. We're talking about paperless today. Start with the customer experience. When you do that, you get traffic. Traffic is nothing but adoption. When you get adoption, you get sellers. In e-commerce case, it will be different financial services. When you get sellers, you get more selection. When you get more selection, you get better customer experience. And when this starts spinning, as Nandan said, it takes a little bit of time. It requires patience and innovation. You get lower cost structure for the whole ecosystem that drives lower prices, and you get better customer experience. So very excited. Thank you, and very glad to be here.
Welcome to Bankbazaar Digital Finance Conclave, brought to you by CNBC TV 18. It's time to begin with the first panel discussion of the day.
Well, let me start with Mr. Hota. Clearly, the payment banks are going to take a little while before they come on and we get a large amount of financial footprints, digital footprints from the payment banks. So a lot hinges on the UPI coming on board. What's your sense of how quickly it will scale up?
We have already got 1.4 million customers who have registered and who have started transacting. This is one of the products which has been built in a collaborative way by the banking systems. Nowhere in the world such a collaborative approach has happened. It has really got two-factor authentication with a single-factor experience. So the experience of paying in remittance, in the e-commerce space, it is happening. One merchant that has really taken in a big way of 1.2 million customers. 50% of the customers have been onboarded by one merchant. Really, I would not hesitate to name that. The PhonePe really has really onboarded their customer. Once possibly Amazon comes, really, I suppose it will be a breakthrough.
How quickly will your customers be accessing through the UPI?
I think the more important point is that it's a very unique, revolutionary payment platform that has been built in a collaborative way, as pointed out. It's something that has not been done anywhere, and it removes friction. And I think we all need to be just patient. Because anytime, as I said, you remove friction, people use more of it. You want to make sure that the stakeholders are aligned so that it's a win-win-win for everybody.
If all the banks are on UPI, then it will be only a matter of time before...
I think we look at all of these decisions as what does it mean for our customers. If it makes sense for our customers in terms of the payment experience, if it makes their experience better, and if it strategically aligns with what we want to achieve, then there's no reason why we would not.
Rajiv, first, your experience. Is it possible to disburse loans practically paperlessly?
One of the experience that I want to talk about is really, from a financial inclusion perspective, we are actually working with a BC. And really, cycle rickshaw guys and auto drivers, they remit money to their rural, to their parents or whatever. They also make small purchases, plane tickets, recharge, and so on and so forth. We are using that data to be able to assess the incomes of these fellows. We are then authenticating them through Aadhaar, so the whole process is paperless, and then we issue them a debit card typically. So that entire process here, the use of mobile, the use of data, and the use of biometric authentication makes this whole process at that level of financial inclusion paperless already.
Okay. Mr. Rajnish Kumar, for instance, for an Amazon supplier, to what extent are you able to give loans for such people without resorting to paper or even without a wet signature?
There we already have arrangement with many aggregators, what we call, and it could be a Snapdeal or a Flipkart or a Ola, Uber, and there are aggregators who does aggregation for trucks. So we have entered into agreement with many of these aggregators and their vendors. There are two dimensions to it. One is the vendor and one is their customers. So as far as vendors are concerned, we are able to process and give the loans or approve the loans within a few minutes. But still, the documentation part where we need a loan documentation is still it is in the physical form. And these are business loans. When it is a personal loan and where the owner, the borrower has a debit card and we have structured the process in such a manner that legally we are covered as far as that contract is concerned.
Arvind, what is the experience in HDFC? Is it, you don't have worries about enforceability in a paperless loan?
We started this initiative of what we call as 10 seconds paperless loans.
What is the limit of this
You can go up to 15 lakhs, you can go down 1 lakh to 50. So it's not small, it depends on individual credibility. So to probably explain to you what the product is, you can go online on net banking, you can go onto your ATM, and you can go onto your mobile. And if you're banking with HDFC Bank, and if you've been there for over a year, and if I have adequate visibility of your transactions as an internal customer, you can actually go 24 hours by 7. At a click, you'll get money transferred to your account. So it's no more just approval. You'll have approval plus dispersal. Okay. And it's paperless. So there's absolutely no physical. I mean, like Amit said, frictionless. I think on the lending side, we believe we probably have reached a certain point of arrival. From there, we got to take it further.
Zareen, you stand at a confluence or at the point at which you're able to see the international experience as well as the Indian experience. What is your sense in terms of your being able to provide services to non-Stand Charge customers?
So Lata, we in 2012 had launched a product way back then called Approval in Principle, where we actually gave credit card limits to new to bank also. Yes. The only thing then, since we don't have the income proof, we would give him a predefined limit, and then we would validate once he gives the income proof, and then it sort of translates into a final limit. Of course, we've not extended it to personal loans, but it was done for credit cards. So we've been doing that. Having said that, I think India, given the UPI development, to my mind, it's something we are quite ahead, even when compared to advanced countries like Singapore. Singapore government is now looking at 1 year later, I think a UPI kind of model is what they're looking at putting in Singapore. So to that extent, I think India is quite advanced.
What do you see as roadblocks for further paperless transactions?
What we believe is that, one, the banks have done an excellent job of delivering paperless to existing bank customers. I think that frictionless experience of 10 seconds is world class. It's amazing. Now, today the beauty is, I think, like Mr. Nandan Nilekani said, the Evidence Act and the IT Act allow for e-sign. And to what Amit had said earlier, the technology is available today where for a new-to-bank customer, and we have 10 million visitors like that on Bankbazaar every month, there is the opportunity to offer a frictionless experience. So my point is simply that I think a combination of the fact that regulators are encouraging paperless, right? The regulations, the Evidence Act have changed, and technology allows us to give a seamless experience on the mobile. Genuinely, if you look at it today, we're able to issue fixed deposits, debit cards, credit cards on the mobile phone. I think we're at an inflection point wherein if we can make use of these regulatory encouragement and the fact that technology provides for it, it's a free run here as far as paperless growth goes.
Welcome to Bankbazaar Digital Finance Conclave, brought to you by CNBC TV 18. With increasing digital interaction amongst consumers, India is at the cusp of converting to digital finance. Online transactions, mobile banking apps have been on an upswing. So to discuss this in detail, we would like to have the second panel discussion.
Let me first start off by asking Mr. Sathe, who is the only member from the regulatory side who is with us. Are the regulators now on board to allow completely paperless transactions in financial products?
Regulators do understand the need for it, and they have taken steps to see that paperless transactions keep on increasing. Platforms may be different, platforms may not be developed as of now, but going forward, I'm sure all the regulators are in unanimity to say that the paperless transactions in case of financial transactions should increase.
Mr. Dasgupta, do you have entirely paperless transactions?
We have a mobile app on which you can take a photograph of your previous policy, which need not be from ICICI Lombard, it can be from any company. We will, on that photograph, we will send you a quote. You can just click that quote if you like that, and you can go onto a payment page and you can pay. Entirely paperless. If you look at the way we've been working with the ecosystem, I think working with e-commerce players, that's been a big driver for general insurance adoption in some other smaller ticket size policies. A classic example is the recent IRCTC example. Today, on the IRCTC side, we are selling, not we, the industry is selling about 3.6 lakh policies a day. And this is 92 paisa, remember that. Imagine, doing a policy at 92 paisa. Obviously, there can be no cost really, almost. And that's how it's been designed. Entirely paperless, entirely straight through. And it's working at that scale. And the adoption rate on that side is about 40%.
Okay, let me go to the third party then. Bankbazaar. In the process of selling insurance products, do you find paperlessness entirely possible?
It's very obvious that the step forward towards paperless is that the frictionless customer experience, the allowing the partners to adopt technology and utilizing the eKYC, e-Aadhaar services and e-sign. And we really see that this taking off in a big way in insurance and in the web aggregation platform, which itself is an online platform for online policies, is a very advanced step in this direction. And from 1st of October, rather, the regulations have further clarified that for certain disaster-prone areas, certain all motor policies, health insurance policies below a particular threshold of premium and cover have to be compulsorily on an online mode.
Okay.
This will clearly push, this is a push from the regulator side. At the same time, there's a customer demand for such products. On the platform of Aadhaar and this enabling ecosystem, I really see this taking off.
Okay, Mr. Ota, what is your vision in terms of when you can see an exponential growth of financial products on data given from the UPI?
As far as the UPI is concerned, we are pretty raring to go, and from 1.2 million customers, we are in fact aiming 25 million customers by March and having a daily average transactions of 1 million.
Okay.
So we are confident of that, and with the e-mandate coming, for which RBI approval is on the way, because we are discussing with e-mandate. Okay. That means currently the mandate is totally paper-based. Somebody is given a wet signature. Now we have proposed to RBI that we would like to drive the payments on the basis of e-mandate. We wanted it for the ACH. ACH is agreed in principle, but the final approval is yet to come. Meanwhile, when UPI has come, so many users are quite gung-ho that let us really use this e-mandate for UPI. So if UPI now, as I can see, a lot of excitement on e-mandate. If that happens, it automates and a large number of, a great deal of straight-through processing happens. Okay.
Thank you so much, Lata, and all the members of the panel for that insightful discussion. Now, to wrap up this evening, I would like to invite Mr. Naveen Chandani, Chief Business Development Officer, Bankbazaar.com, for a vote of thanks.
A very big thank you to all the speakers, the panelists, and Lata. I hope everyone over here enjoyed the discussions, enjoyed the views and visions laid out on paperless, frictionless. At Bankbazaar, we believe buying a financial product should be paperless, should be frictionless. I would actually request everyone to, take this momentum. We are hoping to actually work with each of you to make this a reality. I just heard the regulator say in insurance, it's already a reality. I believe it can be a reality even in the banking sector. With this, I take this opportunity to thank everyone for making time, spending time with us, being present here. Thank you.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.